जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। स्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य, बीवीडी फाउंडर आचार्य, सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Echo can. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 41. Evam Swakarma Patitam Bhava Vaitaranya. Evam Swakarma Patitam Bhava Vaitaranya. Anyonya Janma Maranashana Bhita Bhitam. Anyonya Janma Maranashana Bhita Bhitam. Pashyan Janam Swa Para Vigraha Vaira Maitram. Pashyan Janam Swapara Vigraha Vaira Maitram. Hanteti Parachara Piprihi Mudham Adya. Hanteti Parachara Piprihi Mudham Adya. Evam Swakarma Patitam Bhava Vaitaranya. Anyonya Janma Maranashana Bhita Bhitam. Pashyan Janam Swapara Vigraha Vaira Maitram. हन्तेति पारचरपिप्रिः मूढमद्य एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्या अन्योन्यजन्म मरणाशन भीत भीतम् पश्यन् सपर विग्रह वैरमैत्रम् हन्तेति पारचर विप्रिः मूढमद्या एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्या अन्योन जन्म मरणाशन भीत भीतम् वैरमैत्रम् हन्तेति पारचर पिप्रिः मूढमद्या एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्या अन्योन्य जन्म मरणाशन भीत भीतम् पश्यन् परविग्रह वैरमैत्रम् हन्तेति पारचर पिप्रिः मूढमद्या एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्या अन्योन्य जन्म मरणाशन भीत भीतम् पश्यन् जनम स्वपर विग्रह वैरमैत्रम् अन्तेति पारचर पिप्रिः मूढमद्या एवं in this way swakarma patitam fallen because of the reactions of one's own material activities bhava compared to the world of nescience birth, death, old age and disease Vaitaranya in the river known as Vaitarani which lies in the front of the doorway of Yamraj, the superintendent of death. Anyaha anya, one after another. Janma, birth. Marana, death. Ashana, different types of eating. Bhita bhitam, being exceedingly afraid. Pashyan, seeing. Janam, the living entity. Sva, one's own. Para, of others. Vigraha, in the body. Vairamaitram, considering friendship and enmity. Hanta, alas, iti, in this way. Parachara, O you, who are on the other side of the river of death. Piprahi, kindly save us all from this dangerous condition. Mudham, we are all foolish, bereft of spiritual knowledge. Adya, today, because you are personally present here. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death, but because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy, and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Please repeat. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Purport. Prahlāda Mahārāja, a pure Vaishnava, prays to the Lord not only for himself, but for all other suffering living entities. There are two classes of Vaishnavas, the Bhajananandis and Goshtianandis. The Bhajananandis worship the Lord only for their own personal benefit, but the Goshtianandis try to elevate all others to Krishna consciousness so that they may be saved. Fools who cannot perceive repeated birth and death and the other miseries of materialistic life cannot be sure of what will happen to them in the next birth. Indeed, these foolish, materially contaminated rascals have manufactured an irresponsible way of life that does not consider the next life. They do not know that according to one's own activities, one receives a body selected from 8,400,000 species. These rascals have been described in Bhagavad Gita as Dushkritina Mudha, non-devotees. Those who are not Krishna conscious must engage in sinful activities. And therefore they are mudhas, fools and rascals. They are such fools that they do not know what will happen to them in the next life. Although they see varieties of living creatures eating abominable things, pigs eating stool, crocodiles eating all kinds of flesh, and so on, they do not realize that they themselves, because of their practice of eating all kinds of nonsense in this life, will be destined to eat the most abominable things in the next life. A Vaishnava is always afraid of such abominable life, and to free himself from such horrible conditions, he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. The Lord is compassionate to them, and therefore he appears for their benefit. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sarjamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. The Lord is always ready to help the fallen souls, but because they are fools and rascals, they do not take to Krishna consciousness and abide by the instructions of Krishna. Therefore, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes as a devotee to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. One must therefore become a sincere servant of Krishna. Amar agyaya guru haya tara eidesh. One should become a guru and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world simply by preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. The sense of Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We saw in the previous session how Prahlāda Mahārāja is telling the situation. He's representing the situation of a materialist. What is the situation of materialist? He tries to have many objects of sense pleasure. And one of the greatest objects of sense pleasure is wife or husband, spouse. So Prahlāda Mahārāja is telling, my situation is like that of a person who is having many wives. And we understood how increasing the number of objects of sense enjoyment does not make one happy but makes one more distressed. That is the nature of this material world. That is why it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and everywhere that the sense enjoyment is a punishment for the living entity. What is this enjoyment but punishment? Either something can be enjoyment or it can be punishment. But here it is told, no, this sense enjoyment, we actually enjoy the senses. That is a punishment for the living entity. Why punishment? As we understood, frying pan to fire. This is the situation. If there is desire in the heart to enjoy the senses, then immediately person becomes distressed because he is not having that object of his desire. So one is immediately put to tremendous hard work to attain the object of sense enjoyment, and this hard work is very painful. So thus one's pains start immediately as soon as the sense desires they sprout in the heart. Immediately there is hard work. A person, nobody wants to work hard, but everyone is put to hard work. Why? Because of sense desires. I want to enjoy. That is why all of us are working hard without any exception, with the exception of some devotees. So thus immediately there is pain, and most of the times people are not able to attain what they want, and thus there is further misery. If they are able to attain, again it goes away. There is fear, there is misery. So thus a person is in this way from frying pan to fire. This is the situation. So Prahlāda Mahārāja here is lamenting. Bhava Vaitaranyam. So this material world is called Bhava. Bhava means to become. People are becoming so many things, changing so many bodies so that they can fulfill all the desires that they have, thinking that kind of life is very good. Let me try to become that. So in this way, living entities are continuously changing. Either in this life, they are changing husband of this wife to husband of that wife to husband of third wife, changing their positions. Citizen of this nation to citizen of another nation. Citizen of India to citizen of America. That is a success of today's education system. If somebody can implant himself from here to America, that is success. But the statistics say that America is among the most depressed nations of the world. So we want to go into a state full of depression. And this is our education system. We are blind. We don't see the statistics. So this is blind faith. Having faith in something we have not seen is less of blind faith. Because I have not seen, it might be there. But this is something we are definitely seeing, that the country is full of misery. Still we are going there. This is greatest blind faith. So materialists behave as somebody forwarded me the video of a YouTuber having millions of followers, analyzes the news very nicely. And he's boasting himself as being a very rational person. Yes, from the very early childhood, I did not believe in all these things. There is a God who lives somewhere. Like here, Vaitaranya. What is Vaitarani? Vaitarani is a river which is full of pus, blood, mucus, and all these nasty things. And then so many insects are there. And sinful living entities are made to stay in that river for many thousands of years. There is a lot of suffering. And then there are various animals in that river also. They bite such sinful people. So one can think, river means river of water. What is the river of pus, stool, bones, and this thing? So no. Yes, such a river may exist or may not exist because I have not seen it. So Prabhupada tells one who is outrightly denying, no, Vaitarani does not exist. Hell, Yamloka, Yamraj does not exist. So that is foolishness, correct? This is called blind faith. One is having blind faith upon one's intelligence, that it does not exist because I cannot understand. Prabhupada tells, if you go to every corner of the universe, you go to every planet, and then you conclude, yes, Vaitarani does not exist. You are not able to go to even moon. Your rockets are blasting off. And then you are telling that Vaitarani does not exist. Is it not height of arrogance and ignorance? If you go to all the planets, then you say it does not exist, then it is okay, agreed. You have visited all the planets of the universe. There is existence even beyond universe, that is mentioned in the Vedas. Parastasmatu bhavanyo vyakto vyakta sanatana. Okay, not beyond, at least go in the universe and see what is there. But no, rejecting. So at least a person should be open, try to understand. But here it is mentioned, smoking kills, but I will smoke. This country is most depressed, but I will go into that country. That is my success. I'll work very hard so that I can go into a country which is most depressed. This is the best use of my intelligence. I am a rational person. So I'll work very hard to go to a place where people are coming in depression. This is my success. What an intelligence. And the people who score best marks in today's education system, this is their dream. So we can understand entire education system is a failure. Because the people who are supposed to be best as per this education system, they are following this blind pursuit. So thus these are not blind things. These are the realizations of people who are having absolute knowledge, perfect truth. Thus Prahlāda Mahārāja, we can see how much advanced he was on the platform of knowledge. Such perfect knowledge he was having of absolute truth, supreme personality of Godhead, that nothing in the world was able to disturb him. The greatest power of the universe, Hiranyakashipu, he was also not able to do any harm, and he got surprised. That Prahlāda, you are 5-year-old boy, what is the source of your power? I worked very hard to gain this power, and you are 5-year-old boy. What is the source of your power that I am not able to do anything to you? So this was Prahlāda Mahārāja. And such a person who has got elevated, we have got little knowledge. We have invented some lights and fans. So we are not affected by darkness. We are not affected by heat outside. Air conditioners. So some onslaughts of material nature we can avoid. But perfection of knowledge means no onslaught of material nature can act upon you. That is the summit of knowledge. So Prahlāda Mahārāja is on that platform. Nothing in the material world, no forces are acting upon him. This is called perfect knowledge. And such a person's version should be taken as absolute truth. So Prahlāda Mahārāja is telling, what is our situation? I have fallen into this river of repeated birth and death, Vaitarani, where I am eating all kind of filthy things. I may become pig, I have to eat stool, I may become dog or crocodile, eating so many kinds of abominable things, flesh, mucus, bile, blood. So this is how Darwin's theory came into existence. So Darwin, he went across the world on a famous voyage, and then he saw on his voyage that there are many imperfections in the world, and there is so much of suffering in the world. So if God is the creator, there is somebody who is the supreme creator and controller. We are all his children. Nobody likes children should suffer. If there is somebody who is perfect creator, supreme controller, we are his children, then nobody should suffer here. If there is suffering, imperfection in this world, it means there is no supreme controller. So in this way he concluded that there is no supreme controller, no supreme creator, no father who has created all of us. Father who lives in heaven, all this philosophy, Christian philosophy, this is all wrong. There is no father, there is no God, because living entities are suffering. So Prahlāda Mahārāja mentions here, Evam swakarma patitam bhava vaitaranyam. This suffering of this world is not the creation of God. This suffering is my creation. Evam swakarma patitam. I have fallen into this misery because of my karma. So this is very important to understand. Swakarma patitam. Whatever situation we are in, it is because of swakarma, my own karma. So it is very easy to understand. We just have to understand one axiomatic truth. If there is a creation, there should be creator. If there is a design, there should be designer. If you can believe that this camera or this microphone, this laptop can come by automatic assembly of atoms, then we may not believe in God. But it is not possible that an assembly of atoms can produce this laptop, this mic. It is very simple to understand. Just this fact we have to know. If my laptop, mic, camera cannot understand by evolution of millions and zillions of years, so these complicated bodies cannot happen automatically. Somebody has created. So this fact is very easy to understand. Now, the one who has created, he is equal to everyone. Our tendency is to be equal to our children. We love our children. We don't want that our children should suffer. Similarly, why this tendency we have? Because our origin, our source must have this tendency. He also does not want children should suffer. Otherwise, why the living entities, we have got this tendency. Our source also has this tendency. Children should not suffer. So if children are suffering, it must be because of their bad activities. They must have done something wrong. That is why they are suffering. Somebody is born as a pig. Somebody is born as a human. Now, there was no chance, one may argue. If our suffering is as per our activities, swakarma as it is mentioned here, but this is not valid because pig did not get chance to do any activity. From birth, he was born a pig. People are beating him and burning him. Similarly, so many animal, other species, they are suffering. They don't have a nice house. They cannot have luxury of living in a comfortable life as we are having. So where is the chance of doing karma? So it is simple. It means they have done karma in previous life. God is not partial. That one child he'll make pig, you rot here. One child he'll make handicapped or poor, poverty-stricken, ugly. Another child will be very beautiful, very handsome, very powerful, intelligent. No. Because different children of God are in different situation, it means they have done activities in previous life. That is why from birth, everyone is born into different situation. This proves the eternality of the soul. It is very, very simple to understand because God is equal to all. Still, from birth, there are different situations. It means we must have done karma in previous life. It means there is previous life. It is very, very simple to understand. So thus, because of so many actions of the previous life, we have got a body. Swakarma patitam. And then because of those karmas, karma means what? An action which is meant for enjoying the senses. So thus it is very, very dangerous activity. Any action which is done to enjoy the senses. Because of this, what happens? Pashyan janam sapara vigraha vaira maitram. Maranashana bhita bhitam. Person is always afraid, always scared here for his life, for various material resources. And then sapara vigraha vaira maitram. He develops a concept of duality. He thinks these are my people, swapara, and these are not mine. They don't belong to me. In this way, he differentiates. So this differentiation should not be in the life of a devotee, as we discussed last month. This differentiation is illusion. These are my people and these are not my people. They don't belong to me. No, everyone belongs to me because everyone belongs to Krishna. We are all connected to Krishna. So something is mine, something is not mine. Some resources are mine, these resources are not mine. These people are mine, these people are not mine. This country is mine, this country is not mine. This is illusion. This happens because of the sinful activities of sense enjoyment. Person comes into nescience. So thus Prahlāda Mahārāja is praying that Krishna, you are situated on the other side of the river of nescience. So people ask, have you seen God? Why God will be seen here in a place of misery? Where there is hunger, there is thirst, there is disease, there is old age, there is death. The creator of jail does not live in jail. So similarly, the creator of this jail of material world, which is a place of misery, does not live here in this place. He lives outside. So Prahlāda Mahārāja is telling, you are parachara piprahi mudha madhya. You are living on the other side of the place, which is meant only for fools and rascals who don't surrender unto you. So if you cross this river of repeated birth and death, there we will find Krishna. So this knowledge is very, very important, that all of us are suffering only because of our karma. And whatever we may do, we cannot change it. We cannot change our happiness and distress. So nothing happens by chance. Everything is happening perfectly as per directions of Supreme Lord. He is in perfect control. Oh, how do we know God is in perfect control? Yes, I understand this logic that any design needs a designer. But then design may go out of control. That happens, right? People are making planes and then planes go out of control. They crash, right? They are making space shuttles, but they keep on crashing. So agreed, God made this world, but then world has gone out of control now. Now God is no longer in control, correct? God created this world, but these living entities have taken the world out of God's control. They have done so much pollution, God is thinking, I cannot purify now. Now the world is out of control, so we have to work hard to become happy. So is it fact? Ashtish, God is out of control now? Like we are creating artificial intelligence, they are scared. If it goes out of control, then what will happen to us? Similarly, the world has gone out of control. No, so this is not fact. How do we understand? So what to speak of God? Everything is under control of even devotees of God. If something is not in my control, then I become disturbed. Correct? Teacher is not in my control. Nonsense is talking. I am getting bored. So I am getting disturbed. Boss is not in my control. I am winding up my laptop and then it tells, so this is an assignment for today. Is this time to start work, to give assignment? I am going home. So boss is not in my control. Children are not in my control. I come under distress. Child is not studying, lying, doing mischief, taking drugs. I am in distress. Government is not in my control. Introducing some policies, I am in distress. Weather is not in my control. So in this way, when things are not in our control, we become distressed. And if everything is in control, we will not be distressed. So thus we can see that devotees of Lord are beyond all distress. It means nothing can disturb them. So thus Prabhupada tells, even devotees of Lord are not disturbed under any circumstances, what to speak of Supreme Lord. So thus one who is not disturbed in any circumstances, it means everything is under his control. Of course, devotee, it is not the duty of a devotee to worship Lord with some desire, but Krishna makes his devotee as powerful as his own self. Just like a father gives entire property to children. So thus one should be intelligent, Prabhupada tells. When Krishna is telling Sara dharman parityajya maam ekam sharanam raja, you completely surrender unto me. Yat karoshi, yat joshi, yat dadasi. Like after Jigyasa, some students were asking, so you mean to say whatever I am earning, I should give everything to Krishna? People ask this question, there would be loss. No, I will come on street. I will become beggar if I do this. So people think if I give everything to God, so they are thankful I am offering food to Krishna. It is good. Krishna does not eat. So in the heart of heart, they want Krishna should not eat. But no. So they do not know when Krishna is asking something that you please offer, what Krishna is offering in return. So if a devotee offers everything to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajami aham. If you offer everything to me, whatever you have, I will offer whatever I have to you. So if you give everything what you have to Krishna, Krishna will give everything that he has to you. That is God's reciprocation. So devotee offers himself to God, God offers himself to his devotee. Devotee has no business but to satisfy God, and God has no business but to satisfied devotee. God is not having to meet any deadlines. God is busy. There is no time to take care of devotees. He has to start a new company. He is very busy working on some project. Or some company is making loss. No. God is completely free. Everything. Swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. Automatically by his desire, everything is fulfilled. He is completely free. So what is work of God? What is keeping him engaged? Nothing. God's only work is to fulfill desire of his devotees. He has no other business. So when God wants to fulfill your desires, who can stop our desires getting fulfilled? So God has no business. So thus devotee of Lord becomes as powerful as Lord, as powerful as Krishna. So thus nothing can disturb a devotee of the Lord. So thus we can understand everything is under God's control, because anybody who surrenders unto God completely, no power in the world can disturb him. This is typical example. The greatest power in the universe was Hiranyakashipu. All the devatas also were chased away, chased out. But such power also failed miserably in front of small boy Prahlāda, because he took shelter of Krishna. And thus we can see practically in our life, this is called science. If you chant Hare Krishna mantra, follow this process very nicely, then what happens? You can see you are also feeling liberation in your life. You are getting more and more freedom. So just like sometimes devotees ask after session, Prabhu, are you liberated? So what is the meaning of liberation? Yeah. So just like famous Indian cricketer, when he broke up from his relationship, he was having a party. I am free now. I am liberated. So people understand that these relationships are bondage. But what to do? Frying pan to fire. There he is dissatisfied. Here he is dissatisfied. So he's dancing. Yes. But then he's crying also. Again went back to relationship. So people do not know what to do. There I am dissatisfied. Here I am dissatisfied. So if you are free from this relationship, that is liberation actually. And devotees are free from all bondage of all relationships. As soon as there is weekend, people enjoy. I am free from bondage of my job. 2 days I am free. I am liberated. Devotee is always liberated. No job. Every day there is freedom. So this is called liberation. Nobody can compel a devotee to do job. Senses are pulling. Senses are pulling a person to go, and so much hard work he has done to gain money. And then he'll go have a dinner in a 5-star hotel and then spend all that money immediately. He'll climb a hilltop, jump from there, bungee jumping, all the money gone. So for jumping, for eating, he's spending. So nobody can force a devotee to waste his money like this. This is called liberation. So thus we can see there is great liberation. In this way we see when we follow devotional service, we become more and more advanced. And not just us, even those who are grastas, who are householders, they will also not feel the pangs of household life if they follow the instructions very, very sincerely. So thus what is missing in one's life is not any resources, but simply this knowledge. Surrender into Krishna completely. Offer yourself, offer everything to Krishna. Then Krishna offers everything to you. So thus Prabhupada explains, Prahlāda Mahārāja, pure Vaishnava, prays to the Lord not only for himself, but for all other suffering living entities. There are 2 classes of Vaishnavas, Bhajananandi and Goshtyanandi. So one class of Vaishnavas or devotees, they engage in devotional service for their own personal liberation, personal benefit. But Goshtyanandi, like Prahlāda Mahārāja, they are praying for welfare of all living entities. They are very, very compassionate. So thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always recommended everyone to become Goshtyanandi. So again, it is not criticizing Bhajananandi. Bhajananandi, they may be on a very elevated, they could be on neophyte platform also, that I am just self-interested. I don't want to preach. That is not very good.
then such a person is not having realization what is Krishna consciousness. If you experience any nice thing, natural tendency is to spread the word to others. Thus, this is the first symptom of spiritual advancement, Prabhupada tells. If we have advanced spiritual life, we have tasted spiritual life, then we would like to spread it to others. Isn't it? That is natural tendency. If I come across any nice thing, I go everywhere. So I remember when we were preparing for this JE, and we are supposed to go to coaching and then school and everything. There is no time for other things. So there was very interesting cricket match. It was a test match. It became very interesting, like more than a one day. And then some of the students, they came and they were talking. You saw that match. You saw the last innings. You did not see, your life is waste. So they are preaching very strongly about it. So why they are preaching? Because they have seen there is wonderful and there was so much of enjoyment in that. There is natural tendency. They are speaking, they are talking. You did not watch it, you go and see it. Watch the replay. It was such a wonderful match. So if somebody has experienced spiritual life, natural tendency would be to preach, Prabhupada tells. One will be forced to preach. And if this force is not coming, it means we are on very neophyte platform. There is no experience. So thus, if somebody is Bhajananandi, because he has not experienced spiritual life, then that is very neophyte platform. But there are very advanced Bhajananandis also, who are Paramhansas. Why they are not preaching? Because they think everyone is more advanced than me. Whole world is engaged in service of Krishna, only I am not serving Krishna. Or they think I am not capable of preaching Krishna consciousness. Yes, this is very nice, but I do not have capacity to preach. I have no strength. So in this mood of humility, again, they may not preach. But one is supposed to follow the footsteps of one spiritual master. And that is the secret of spiritual advancement. Like we took class on understanding how our process is very bona fide, and we discussed Payovrat. So my sister asked that, please explain me how do we do this Payovrat. It is very interesting, no? And I gave the case study also. Somebody was not having a child and then they did. And they had a child, defied the laws of biology. So it is very enamoring that let me also do it. But one should not do it. One should simply remain satisfied with the instructions given by the spiritual master. So many things, so many mantras, like in Bhagavatam you will find. Dhruv Maharaj chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then he was able to see Krishna within 6 months. So I may think, oh, let me also chant this mantra now. And I will also see Krishna within 6 months. No, it is not going to happen. Why it is not going to happen? In the same Bhagavatam, in that relation it is mentioned. Narad Muni tells, now I am going to explain to you very secret, very confidential mantra. So Prabhupada explains, what is the meaning of this secret when it is published in Bhagavatam and given to everyone? Confidential means something which is secret. Nobody knows it. So Prabhupada tells this mantra is confidential because Sampradaya bihina ye mantrate nishphala mataha. Unless you receive it from a proper Sampradaya, bona fide Guru Shishya Parampara, disciplic succession, mantra will be useless. Any process which is not received from the Guru, it is useless. So if you try to follow this process, what was any mantra which was recommended, any vrata which was recommended to anybody, but you have not taken it from your Guru, it will be useless. It will have no effect. That is why the Vedas are compared to mother and spiritual master is compared to father. Mother creates the body, but unless father gives the soul through the semen, body will not develop. So development of body happens because of the soul which is given by father through his semen. So thus the body, the mantras are coming from the Vedas, but the potency in the mantra will be given by spiritual master. Then the mantra becomes full of life, vitality. Otherwise, if you simply take mantra, it is dead body without spiritual potency. So Vedas are called mother, spiritual master is called father. And one is supposed to take this second birth. Then he becomes Dvija. Sanskarat bhave Dvija. This is called initiation ceremony. Vedas become mother and spiritual master becomes father. So one is supposed to read the Vedas very nicely after second birth, just like mother gives the body. So Vedas will give us body of knowledge. And the spiritual vitality in that knowledge, realization will be given by spiritual master. So people take Diksha, but there is no development of knowledge. Guru does not recommend you read the books, he does not teach the books. And then you are my disciple, I have given Diksha so that you give me money entire life. You are affiliated to me. This is not Diksha. Diksha means spiritual master will instruct in the Vedas and he will give spiritual realization also. So thus one is not supposed to follow anything else, but one should have complete faith. So somebody was asking innocently, one devotee, that Prabhu, here the lectures are in English language. And yeah, it is a fact that Prabhupada also spoke mainly English and other things also. And I feel more comfortable, although I understand English, but I feel more comfortable in Hindi. And if I want lectures on specific topic, let's say brahmacharya, then I do not find sufficient information from the devotees in our temples on this topic. So I'm hearing this other Maharaj, he has become very famous because one celebrity couple visited him in Vrindavan. So he's become very famous and some devotees are watching. And actually he's impersonalist. They don't realize. Mayavadi bhashi sunile hoye sarvanash. Apparently that is Vaishnavism. He will tell to chant the names of Krishna and Radha. But actually it's impersonalism. He tells all the names are equal. You can chant any name of any devta. Follow any guru, any scripture. And that will bring you to success. Narayan has become Nar. Again it will become so Mayavad, impersonalism. Externally it is Vaishnavism. So if we are hearing such philosophy, so he tells that, but Prabhu, I feel I am advancing more. So I told it doesn't matter. Maybe he is a very good brahmachari. So being a brahmachari does not mean that you are a devotee, you are a spiritualist. Brahmachari means you are not indulging yourself in material sense enjoyment, that is all right. But where is positive knowledge? A person is perfect sannyasi also still is in the material realm. Spiritual life begins from liberated platform. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Mad bhaktim labhate param. So bhakti is after liberated platform. One could be liberated also. But one will fall down from that platform if one is not a devotee. So yes, somebody could be liberated. Somebody could be strong brahmachari. You can also become a strong brahmachari. But then we will not be able to attain devotional service. If we are leaving our spiritual masters, just like wife is leaving husband to enjoy with another person. It is breaking the vow of chastity. It is a great folly to go to another person. Yes, if spiritual master may himself recommend sometimes, you go and hear from that person. Then it is okay. Spiritual master may authorize that you can hear from my representative or this other devotee because we are repeating the same instructions. That is all right. But without sanction, if you go and hear, so you should find. Just like one must marry, but once a person is married to a person, they should follow the vow. That is very important. So one should have freedom. One is not telling to surrender blindly, but once I have surrendered, I should stick to spiritual master very nicely. So when a person is dependent like this on the spiritual master, so these principles are explained, but somehow we miss because of Maya. So thus Prabhupada tells it is not important, even if you are not understanding the language. I just want to hear from my spiritual master. It does not matter I am understanding the language or not. Just like the famous example of illiterate Brahmana in the Sri Rangam temple. He was not knowing Sanskrit, but his spiritual master told him to read entire Bhagavad Gita every day. So even though he is illiterate, so a person may think my spiritual master does not have sense. I am illiterate and he is telling that you read Bhagavad So Prabhupada instructed them just for a couple of years. So it is logical, right? If we were there in those disciple situation, we also could have asked such a question, that you have instructed us just for 2 years. Now I want to understand more about Krishna. You have not given us many books, just one book of Bhagavatam, one canto of Bhagavatam is there, an easy journey to other planets, and you are going back. So can I take instructions from your God brothers who are very learned, who know the Vedas? So Prabhupada became very sad and he started crying. And then he later addressed the issue in Bhagavatam class. It is just like a child is telling, my dear father, you cannot feed me very nicely, you are poor, so can I accept another father? So such a hurtful statement. Will a person change father if father is not able to feed? If father is not able to give nice clothes, will a person change father? Will be satisfied with the father. So this principle is very, very important. And then Prabhupada further explained that do not worry. Although materially we could be separate, but spiritually we are always together. Spiritual master is not this body. Spiritual master is a principle. Spiritual master is also omnipresent and omniscient, like the Supreme Lord. So spiritual master is present wherever the disciple wants his guidance. Guru is present there. Just like God is omniscient and omnipresent, he is all-knowing, he is present everywhere. Spiritual master similarly, and Prabhupada told, spiritual master is always in the company of Krishna, because Krishna is present in every atom. Spiritual master is also present there, because spiritual master is always in the company of Krishna. So thus one should know this very important principle of Guru Tattva. Guru spiritually, a bona fide spiritual master is omniscient, omnipresent, like Krishna. And then Prabhupada told them, small book I have given you, easy journey. That book is of 40-50 pages. You read that book and preach whatever you have learned. This will bring you all success. So one should remain completely dependent on the process. Yes, one should first of all choose a spiritual master nicely without any bias. Read the Vedas, who is repeating the instructions of Vedas very nicely, who is a qualified person, and then surrender without going here and there. So thus, even though one may not understand the language, and this is told by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami told that some people may tell that this Chaitanya Charitamrita has been written in Sanskrit. So ordinary people cannot understand. And this movement, Hare Krishna movement, is meant for everyone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is told, Nagaradigram it will read, but Chaitanya Charitamrita, most important book, is in Sanskrit. So he told, please do not accuse me like this. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also is written in Sanskrit. And these Sanskrit verses are far and few between. Some verses are there which are, but otherwise it is written in the local language, Bengali. And then it is, but if one, even though one is not able to understand, if one repeats these instructions, one will be able to realize it. It will simply keep on hearing these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Even though initially one is not able to realize, one will understand it. This is a secret which Prabhupada mentions when disciples would ask Prabhupada, like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, disciples wanted to write it in a simple language. Prabhupada told no. Then he told, what if we are not able to understand? Prabhupada told, you read repeatedly and then you will understand. Many times disciples ask, I am not able to understand your books. What do I do? Prabhupada told, you read repeatedly, you will understand. So when we read repeatedly, we are associating with Acharya, with the spiritual master, and all this knowledge will be revealed in the heart. So these are the dynamics of spiritual life. So one should simply remain satisfied with the process given by the spiritual master, instructions given by the spiritual master, or in the authorized system. Srila Prabhupada has made this institution. So if we stick to this institution, the system from which instruction should be taken, everything will come to us. So this is called chastity. This is called faith. Thus, this is the secret of spiritual advancement. Prabhupada tells, Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau. Implicit faith in Krishna and equal faith in spiritual master. Complete faith. So that is why one should know what is spiritual master's desire and try to fulfill it. So what is spiritual master's desire? That Prabhupada is expressing here. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Lord Krishna is always ready to help the fallen souls, but because they are fools and rascals, they did not take to Krishna consciousness and abide by the instructions of Krishna. Therefore, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally is the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes as a devotee to preach Krishna consciousness movement. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishnopdesh. One must therefore become a sincere servant of Krishna. What is a sincere servant of Krishna? Who helps Krishna in his work. What is Krishna's work? No work. Abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sajamiham. Krishna comes to spread this message. When people don't hear Krishna directly, Krishna comes in the garb of devotee and then he spreads this message again. So thus one should become sincere servant of Krishna. This is the order of our spiritual master. And what is that order? Amar agyaya guru haya tara eidesh. By my order you become guru. So this is order. This is spiritual master's instruction. This is what Prabhupada is expecting from us. Everyone should become guru. Everyone. One should become a guru and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world simply by preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So guru does not mean accepting disciple. That Prabhupada explains further. It does not mean that Prabhupada writes, it is best not to accept any disciples. Accepting disciples is meant for first class devotee, Uttam Adhikari. So one should not artificially think that I am a first class devotee. It is best not to accept any disciples. But yes, one should follow this instruction. One should preach Krishna consciousness everywhere. But then how to apply this preaching? One may ask. Yes, brahmacharis can preach, they have time. But I am a householder, I have many other duties. How do I preach? So this is misunderstanding. Prabhupada explains. Sometimes people think and they tell that this Hare Krishna, they are brainwashing people. And especially family members, they get very worried. Husband is telling, so let wife not go to the temple, otherwise she will become sannyasi. Wife is worried, husband will become sannyasi. So one of my relatives, she is a nice devotee. And she wants sometimes to meet us and come and hear about Krishna. But family members are afraid. No, she'll also become sannyasi. She will also leave like he has gone. Let her follow from home. So they become very worried. That Krishna consciousness propaganda is make everyone sannyasi. Let wife leave the husband, let husband leave the wife, let children leave their parents. Everyone should become sannyasi. So no, Prabhupada writes here very nicely. This is in connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's South India tour. In the later part of his life, in the 24 years, 6 years, Mahaprabhu toured entire South India to spread Krishna consciousness. So when he met a Brahmana, his name was Kurma Brahmana. He served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was having very good family, very nice aristocratic birth, riches, intelligence. But then he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he washed his lotus feet, he worshipped him very nicely, and then he told, please take me along with you. I cannot tolerate the suffering of this material world. So typical materialist, although materially very successful, but was in distress. So he told, I cannot tolerate these material pangs. So please take me with you. So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tell? Yes, come with me, take sannyas immediately. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. This from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 7th chapter, verse number 127. Prabhu kahe aiche baat kabhu na kahiba, grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantar laiba. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home and chant the holy name of Krishna always. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling? Don't speak like that again. Prabhu kahe aiche baat kabhu na kahiba. Don't speak like that again, that you want to leave home and come with me. Grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantar laiba. You remain at home. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, never talk like that again, you remain at home. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, it is not advisable in this age of Kali to leave one's family suddenly. All the instructions were given previously. Vidur told Dhritarashtra to leave family immediately. He left without informing. Sanjay also started crying. My master has left me without informing. Pandavas left suddenly. And who was he? Prachin Barishat, I think. Narad Muni. Left suddenly. He was a king ruling the entire thing. He told, okay, I am convinced. I will take sannyas. I know going back to God, that is the aim of life. My children are doing austerities. Let them come back. And then I will take sannyas. He told, no. Spiritual life is urgent. Immediately you should leave. And then he left. But in Kali Yuga it is told, it is not advisable. Although the principle is, yes, one should surrender to Krishna immediately, forgo all duties, but it is not advisable in this age of Kali to leave one family suddenly. Why? For people are not trained as proper brahmacharis and grahasthas. Unless one is properly trained as brahmachari and grahastha, suddenly leaving will create chaos. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised the Brahmana not to be too eager to give a family life. It would be better to remain with his family and try to become purified by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly under the direction of spiritual master. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If this principle is followed by everyone, there is no need to accept sannyas. So thus, it is told there is no need to accept sannyas if this principle is followed. What is the principle? The first principle is Nirantar Grihe Rahi Krishna Naam Nirantar Laiba. Krishna Naam Nirantar Laiba. Chant Hare Krishna mantra without any cessation. Continuously. This is the first principle. Always continuously chant the names of Krishna. And then what we are supposed to do, something further is explained. Famous verse. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Amara agyaya guru haya tara ei desh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. So, second principle is Yare dekha, tare kaha. Wherever, whenever, whomever you find, Krishna upadesh, tare kaha Krishna upadesh. You preach this knowledge of Krishna consciousness to them. Amar agyaya, by my order. What is my order? Guru haya. So one should not become Guru without any order. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, become Guru. But what kind of Guru? Who is giving Krishna Updesh, who is spreading this message to everyone. Tara ei desh. And Guru does not mean formality. Yes, I become Guru. I am spreading this knowledge. I am telling people to chant Hare Krishna mantra and this thing. No. One should become a sincere Guru and one should make sure that the people whom he is preaching, they should get liberated. Thus Prabhupada writes, try to liberate everyone on this land. One should make sure that people are advancing by my preaching. So thus it is explained in the purport. This is the sublime mission of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So Prabhupada is now writing what is the mission of Krishna Consciousness. Mission means the clear goal. This is the clear task which I want to do. That is called mission, the ambition. What is this ambition? Many people come and inquire whether they have to give a family life to join the society, but that is not our mission. One can remain comfortably in his residence, but not that. One should not go to other extreme. Yes, live comfortably, do everything. No. One should live comfortably in his residence. We simply request everyone to chant the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If one is a little literate, he can read Bhagavad Gita as it is in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is so much the better. If you can read, that is better. These verses are now available in an English translation and are done very authoritatively to appeal to all classes of men. Instead of living engrossed in material activities, people throughout the world should take advantage of this movement and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at home with their families, one should also refrain from sinful activities, illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. Out of these 4 items, illicit sex is very sinful. Every person must get married. Every woman especially must get married. So Prabhupada tells, this is the mission. Chant Hare Krishna with your families and refrain from sinful activities. Living at home does not mean doing sinful activity. No, illicit sex is not allowed, even in the house, even in family. Especially Prabhupada tells, illicit sex is very, very sinful. So every person should get married, especially every woman. Why especially women? Because some men will take sannyas, will become brahmachari. So although majority may not be able to do, but some people, now it again does not mean that let me not become brahmachari and sannyasi. No, the more we sacrifice, greater is the advancement. That is good. But not everyone can do that. It is tough. It is rare. So those who are capable, they must aspire for it. That is very good. But general people, they can stay wherever they are. But women, they cannot take to brahmacharya and sannyas. It is very difficult because they need protection, they need support, and material desires are very strong. So thus Prabhupada is writing, every woman especially must get married. Then Prabhupada tells, the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to elevate human society to the perfection of life by pursuing the method described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his advice to the Brahman Kurma. That is, one should stay at home, chant the Hare Krishna mantra and preach. Preach the instructions of Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is very important. So Prabhupada is repeating, preaching the instructions is very important. Again, Prabhupada repeats. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a great assurance, great guarantee. So people think, no, Prabhu, it is not possible. See, we are grahasthas. There is misery, there is trouble. So Mahaprabhu is writing, Kabuna badi bhe tomar vishay taranga punarapi ei thai pabe mora sanga. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised the Brahmana Kurma, if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we will again meet here, or rather you will never lose my company. Such a great assurance. Kabuna badi be tomar vishay taranga. The waves of materialistic life will not touch you, will not obstruct your spiritual advancement if you follow these instructions. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving guarantee. And you will again get my association when I return. Rather, Prabhupada explains, you will never lose my company. One will always feel the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if you follow these instructions very nicely. One will never lose the company of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thus Prabhupada explains, this is an opportunity for everyone if one simply follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But important line Prabhupada is mentioning in every purport, under the guidance of his representative. Following instructions under guidance. Otherwise, mantrate nishfala mataha. Under guidance is important. And chants the Hare Krishna mantra, teaching everyone as far as possible the same principles. The contamination of the materialistic way of life will not even touch him. Great guarantee, will not even touch him. Material all the problems of life, all the troubles, miseries are because of material contamination, Rajaguna and Tamaguna. But Prabhupada is telling, contamination of material life will not even touch him. What to speak of brahmachari, sannyasi, even grahasthas? Contamination will not even touch. Such a great assurance. It does not matter whether one lives in a holy place like Vrindavan, Navdeep or Jagannath Puri. So people are very eager that I want to take a home in Vrindavan or in Mayapur. But I tell them you will remain disturbed in Mayapur and Jagannath Puri and Vrindavan also, because we are not following these principles. What is the principle? Chant regularly, nirantar, continuously chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and follow regulative principles under the guidance of spiritual master. And third thing, Yare dekho tare kaha Krishna Amar Agya, Guru, become a spiritual master and preach. So if we are not preaching, we are not following regulative principles, not taking constantly name of Krishna, then wherever we remain, we will be in material clutches. Even in Vrindavan, we will not be able to have access to Vrindavan. But here Prabhupada is writing, it does not matter why we are thinking I should shift my location. Prabhupada himself did not live in Vrindavan. He was always roaming around in different places. And spiritual master Acharya, he is giving guarantee. It does not matter whether one lives in holy place like Vrindavan, Navadvip or Jagannath Puri, or in the midst of European cities where materialistic way of life is very prominent. European cities are full of materialism. But Prabhupada is telling it does not matter whether one is living in a city full of material life or in Vrindavan. If a devotee follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lives in the company of the Lord. He lives in company of Lord. If you live with God, what can be trouble? Wherever he lives, he converts that place into Vrindavan and Navadvip. This means that materialism cannot touch him. This is the secret of success for one advancing in Krishna consciousness. So thus one should simply follow these instructions very, very strictly. Nothing much has been told, and then further it is explained. Ei mata yara ghare kare Prabhu bhiksha se yache kahe tara karaye ei siksha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeated same instructions to everyone. You nirantar, without any cessation, chant the names of Krishna, follow the regulative principles under guidance of spiritual master, and preach Krishna consciousness to anyone and everyone. So if we do this, then waves of material life will not disturb us. So that we should understand, Swakarma Patitam, Prahlāda Mahārāja is explaining here, we have fallen into this world because of our karma. We should not work hard thinking that hard work will give me relief from material problems. No, nobody can change one's destiny. Just like we do not work hard, still miseries come. Why? Because they are arranged by laws of nature. As per our karma, similarly, happiness is also arranged by laws of nature. As per our karma, it will come automatically. So we should not try to work hard and there is no time for preaching. Prabhupada tells no, one should learn from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He was district magistrate, most responsible position, but still he was finding time for preaching. And thousands of people were following Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna under his guidance. So thus morning and evening should be completely reserved for Krishna. I should not do any job which takes away my mornings and evenings. Otherwise, Vishaya Taranga, I can live in temple, I can live in Vrindavan, I will always remain disturbed. So these basic principles. One should become guru, one should try to preach. So morning and evening it is for chanting and hearing. I should do my chanting and hearing. I can call some of my neighbors and friends. I do chanting, hearing with them. That becomes preaching. It is very simple. So I request that please try to implement these instructions sincerely. Work for a limited number of hours just to maintain body and soul. Our happiness distress is already fixed as per our karma. Nothing can happen by chance. By hard work, we cannot change our destiny. Prahlāda Mahārāja tells, happiness and distress is fixed as soon as we take this body. So thus one should try to completely surrender to Krishna. Surrenderance is important. So constantly, without any cessation, keep on chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then just follow morning and evening and Saturday, Sunday, at least we can take out 2 days to preach Krishna consciousness. 5 days you work for Krishna and Saturday, Sunday, just preach, no business. Devotee does not have any vacation. He is always working hard. So 5 days you work hard in your offices, in your shops, in your wherever you work, educational institutes for Krishna, offer the results to Krishna. And when we are not attending to our offices and jobs, work for Krishna. We are hard working throughout the year, throughout our lives. So in this way, and you work hard for Krishna, and then you see how much bliss will come in our life. Waves of material world will not touch us. Material contamination will not touch us at all. We will always feel the company of Lord. With this we will end. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
When a child is going to work on the wrong path,
Yeah.
the father tried to stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hmm.
But this Krishna project, because you are Muslim, as you desire Krishna self. Why does Krishna?
So question is, Krishna being a kind father, why he does not stop us when he sees that we are treading a wrong path? A father stops his child when he sees he is going on a wrong path. Why Krishna does not stop? So yes, Krishna stops. That is Krishna's only business. So Krishna's only, thus Prabhupada tells, somebody asked Prabhupada that Krishna tells yada yada hi dharmasya glan, as soon as there is decline in religion, I come here to instruct people in religion. So now there is decline, I see why Krishna is not coming. So Prabhupada says Krishna is coming. Every moment Krishna is guiding, but you are not listening to Krishna. Every moment Krishna is guiding you about religion. He is trying to stop you. Thus Prabhupada tells, when a person indulges in sinful actions, Krishna begs from the conscience. Heart tells, do not do, this is wrong. But we don't listen. Krishna begs from the conscience of the living entity, but we reject the voice, inner voice, and one continues with the sinful life. So if we keep on rejecting this voice of conscience, we become animals. Then he stops speaking. So thus Krishna respects our free will. He is very kind father, but he is always guiding us. Do not do this, do not do this, do not do this, do this. This is right thing. So in this way, very kindly, Krishna is trying to stop us without any force. Yeah. About? Yeah. Yes. So people are not following anything which is not recommended by Guru, a spiritual process. Yes. So that will lead to their fall down. Even chanting Hare Krishna mantra without instruction of Guru will lead to fall down. Because we are not having faith in the spiritual master, that is a fall down. That is an offense. One is approaching another spiritually exalted personality. That also will lead to fall down. That is a big offense. If we have taken initiation from a bona fide spiritual master and then we approach another spiritual master, so leaving a bona fide spiritual master is a big offense. Somebody can tell, I am going for spiritual instructions. No. So following any bona fide process, thus when Baldev Vidyabhushan, he was debating with some of the scholars of Sri Sampradaya and he defeated them. And they wanted to accept him as spiritual master. So you told, no, I cannot initiate you. It is offense. Because although, yes, our philosophy, what we are preaching is a culmination of all philosophies given by Lord Chaitanya, but still I will not re-initiate you. Because you have taken shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, he remains your spiritual master. Yes, you can take instructions, but re-initiating them, that is wrong. Yes, materialist person, if he performs vratas, then he will not get spiritual benefit, material benefit they will get. Yes. So various kathas are there. If he do nicely all the procedures, they'll get material benefit out of it. But a spiritualist, for a devotee, he does anything, material process or spiritual process, which is not given by spiritual master, that will lead to one's fall down, because that shows lack of faith in one's spiritual master. Yeah.
In our village, they normally do Vetarni Puja for a person who is just lying on a deathbed or who is just suffering, for example, who is suffering from cancer last day.
Yeah.
So they do Vetarni Puja just to watch. If someone do Vetarni Puja for someone, that means that either he will come to his life or he means soon after Vetarni Puja, within 3-4 days, he will die.
Right.
So what is this concept of like Vetarni? Because right now you told us about that Vetarni.
Yes. So we discuss about Vetarni. So the question is, in some places in the country, people do Vetarni Puja for a person who is chronically, acutely ill, or one who is going to die in some time, in some days. So what is the significance of this puja? So I have not heard from Prabhupada about this puja, so it will not be good to comment. Loudly? Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Yes. So the question is that one is supposed to follow the instructions of spiritual master. And we see that some devotees are Bhajananandis, like Prabhupada was Goshthianandi, Prabhupada's spiritual master. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj also was Goshthianandi. His spiritual master, Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj, appears to be a Bhajananandi who was not into preaching. And his spiritual master, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a Goshthianandi. And his spiritual master, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, again appears to be Bhajananandi. So how do we understand this? So first of all, we have not heard from Prabhupada whether Gaur Kishoredas Babaji and Jagannath Das Babaji were Bhajananandis or not. So just from external activities, we may not make out. Just like Haridas Thakur, was he Bhajananandi or Goshthianandi? Huh? This misconception. Both? Third class. Bhajananandi, Goshthianandi, both. Yes, so thus external activities can be misleading. So in this regard, it is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Haridas Thakur is being glorified, that some Vaishnavas, they have good character, but they do not preach. Other Vaishnavas, they preach very nicely, but they do not have good character. They do not. So, but you are very glorious because you have good character. You follow the principles and you preach also. And Haridas Thakur along with Nityanand Prabhu are going door to door to preach. That is how they went to Jagai and Madhai to preach. So they were going door to door to preach. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instruction, now you sit in this garden in Jagannath Puri and you chant Hare Krishna mantra. He wanted to establish him as an authority of the holy name. He wanted to show the world, what is this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra? What is the potency? So then Prabhupada, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was giving various instructions to different devotees. To Raghunath Das Goswami, instruction was something else of renunciation. To Kurma Brahmana, the instruction was, wherever you are, you follow Krishna. Ramanand Rai, he told you remain governor. When I call, then you come. Raghunath Das also, he told for some time you remain in family life. And then he came and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave different, to some people he told you be with me. And some people he told you go to Bengal. Nityanand Prabhu was sent back to Bengal to preach. Sarup Damodar Goswami, he was staying with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, he told you go to Vrindavan. So thus whether one has to chant 24 hours and display some principles of devotional service, or one does rigorous austerity and display some principles of devotional service, one acts as a king. Prataprudra also was Mahabhagavata. He continued as a king to display how to follow spiritual life, being a king. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave different instructions to different devotees. So thus externally Haridas Thakur one may conclude, but when he reads Chaitanya Charitamrita carefully, he will understand, no. He preached and then he later chanted also. So thus, unless we understand from Prabhupada, we cannot tell that these acharyas apparently appear to be Bhajananandis. And then another instruction is that it is told that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj only told Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj to preach this knowledge everyone, to everywhere. And thus he was following the instructions of his spiritual master. So spiritual master personally, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he preached in India. But then he told that my disciples, they should go and preach abroad. Thus Bhaktivinoda Thakur was willing to go abroad. One should not tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached only in India. He should have gone abroad and he should have spread Krishna consciousness. Where you are going? No. He has not gone abroad for some reason. Right? But he is giving the instruction, you do that. Just like Prabhupada. So one can tell that we are following some of the devotees in the movement, brahmacharya throughout their life. But Prabhupada became a householder and then he became sannyasi. Why we are not following spiritual master? No. So there is a difference between imitation and following. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur did not imitate his spiritual master, Jagannath Das Babaji. That is fact. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj did not imitate Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I also should become magistrate now to preach Krishna consciousness. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj did not imitate his spiritual master. They followed the instructions of their spiritual master. Without instruction of spiritual master, a devotee will not do anything. So thus they did not imitate, but they followed the instructions. And that is what we are supposed to do. Yes. Any other question? Online we have?
People take advantage of achievements.
Yeah.
Is it due to our previous karma? We should not.
So the question is, if people take advantage because of us, because of our simplicity, and they cheat us, is it because of our previous karma, and should one retaliate or not? So one should not be a fool, Prabhupada tells. Because we are working for Krishna, we should be careful that nobody cheats us. So we should try not to get cheated from others. But still, if we get cheated, yes, that is because of our karma. But we should try, it is our duty not to get cheated from others. Devotee is simple, but devotee is not fool. Ye Krishna bhaje sahi bada chatur. Yes, everyone should try not to get cheated. That is common sense.
Should he retaliate?
Okay, the question is, somebody has cheated me. What should I do now? Retaliate or not? So if you should see what is helping your Krishna consciousness. If retaliating is helping you to advance in Krishna consciousness, you retaliate. If it is not helping you, don't retaliate. So take guidance from devotees. That is why this institution is there.
Able to practice morning sadhana with available time, as you recommended, teaching its essence, and comes next only to chanting. Should I do less sadhana and teach?
No, we should try to do sadhana more, and then we will get strength to preach more. Because our sadhana is not sufficient, we are not getting strength to preach. So further reducing sadhana will implicate us all the more. So we should try to increase the sadhana, save the time from our material activities. So why we are cutting down on sadhana? Cut down on material activities. So first thing that we want to reduce is sadhana. So reduce material activities and increase sadhana. When sadhana is increased, automatically we will feel like preaching.
Will the person chanting other names of God will go back to whom? Back to God?
So question is, if a person is chanting some other names of God, will he go back to Godhead? So the names of God should be given by spiritual master. Then even though it is not name of God, like Valmiki chanted Mara, he went back to Godhead. So thus it is most important to follow spiritual master. Sometimes spiritual master may tell, don't chant also. Why don't chant? So just like in Mayapur, some Matajis were there. So in morning time in chanting, they would do only gossip instead of this thing. So Prabhupada told you, don't chant now. You make garlands for Krishna. At least some seva they would do. So all the normal people should chant in the morning, but you tell them to chant, they will tell Hare Krishna and gossip. Prabhupada told you, make mala in the morning. You are together, you will gossip. So thus following the spiritual master sincerely helps us advance. So if the words, the mantra which is given by spiritual master, if we follow that, we will go back to God.
Please guide how to stay calm when kid is not listening. Please try.
Yes. So question is, if kid is not listening, how to remain calm? Kid is arguing sometimes. So suppose the kid of neighbor does not listen to us, shall we become disturbed? So neighbor's kid does not listen to me. I am very, why should he listen? Neighbor's kid, no. So that is why it is Prahlāda Mahārāja telling here. In ignorance we think This is my kid, this is neighbor's kid. So this distinction is there because of ignorance. Everyone is Krishna's kid. I should try to elevate all the kids, preach Krishna consciousness to all the kids. And if they listen, it's okay. If they don't listen, it's okay. We should not try to become Lord of what all I survey. As a matter of duty, we can try to preach. If they don't listen, that is all right. Prabhupada tried his level best to preach to his family members. Family members were not listening. Prabhupada was preaching to everyone and everyone around him. So don't get disturbed. Kid is not our kid. Yes, the duty is given to take care very nicely. So do your duty very nicely. Try to educate him or her in Krishna consciousness. So please do not force. And further, the way to preach kids is not by precept, but by example. So when we behave nicely, then children will automatically follow. So children, they do not listen. Children, they imitate. So if we present perfect example of Krishna consciousness, they will imitate. Why kid is not listening properly? Because probably we ourselves has not displayed perfect Krishna consciousness. If we offer obeisances, child will follow. If we chant Hare Krishna throughout, child will follow. So if we follow Krishna consciousness perfectly, they will imitate. But still, sometimes the karma can be very different. If they are not listening, please do not worry. This children, this relationship, it is temporary. Next life, some other relationship will be there. So please do not get disturbed. Try your level best.
What other religions are not praying for Krishna? After they die, what is their situation?
So various religions are there. If they are not praying to Krishna, what is their situation? After dying, where they will go? So actually everyone is praying to the same Lord, although they are following the different religion. Of course, I mean bona fide religion. Many non-bona fide processes are also around. So any religion which tells us to love God, to go back to God, that is bona fide religion, to serve God. Now, they may have different names of God. And even though one is chanting the names of God, one is serving God, one may not attain the same end, same result. There are different kinds of devotees, Akam Bhakta, Nishkam Bhakta. People approach God for material benefit also, for elevation to heavenly planets also. So thus we have to understand what that religion is telling. So all the religions which are telling you become lover of God, you serve God, that is bona fide, that is nice. But still they may not lead to the same result. Just like some religions it is told, you follow, you chant the names of God so that you can go to heaven, where you can enjoy with many, many women. So you are taking the name of God for material enjoyment. That is good. At least you are taking the name of God, but that is not selfless love of God. So it is good, but it is not topmost religion. Another religion tells you will go to heaven. If you don't worship God, you will go to hell. Hell and heaven also is part of this material world. And then some religions are there which tell you follow God, you chant the names of God so that you become liberated, you gain moksha. So this is also material benefit. I want freedom, so I'm chanting the name of God. Another almost perfect religion, Vaishnavism, is there, which tells you to worship God so that you can go back to Godhead. This is near perfection, but not perfect. Perfection is when I'm not even concerned of going back to Godhead. I just want to serve Krishna. If Krishna wants me to take back to Godhead, I will come. Otherwise, I will remain here. It does not matter. I just want to serve God life after life. This is perfection of religion. This should be followed. So we will end now. Okay, one important question. Yeah. Okay.
Even Hare Krishna Mahamantra is useless if it is not given by Guru. So Prabhu, will our preaching work if they start chanting and could not feel anything? By voice of preaching.
So the question is, Hare Krishna mantra if not received through Guru, and if we preach, then it will not be effective.
Say is saying that I please someone.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. No, he's received from, because from where I have heard from Prabhupada, or somebody who has heard from Prabhupada, So this is called Guru Shishya Parampara. We are receiving from Prabhupada only. So thus if we repeat to anybody, if he chants, then it means he is receiving Hare Krishna mantra through the Parampara. So it will act. And if we properly take shelter of Parampara by completely surrendering ourselves, it will act very strongly. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की।